All right, Seahawks, another winner. I love what the Seahawks did. I did not expect them to do what they did. We've typically had edge rusher go there. We've talked about at times quarterback, perhaps interior defensive line with Jalen Carter, of course. Nope, Devin Witherspoon, which was sort of surprised when they picked, and then Jackson Smith and Jigba at the end of the first round, and he was the first wide receiver off the board, not until 20, which was a huge surprise. I think a lot of us thought he would go earlier than that, potentially even top 10. Devin Witherspoon ends up being cornerback 1. I'm okay with that. It was pretty tight for me between him and Christian Gonzalez. What are your thoughts on what I'll call unconventional based on media perception of what the Seahawks did?
Yeah, no, I thought they knocked it out of the park again, and give credit to Pete Carroll and John Schneider. But, I was thinking in the back of my head, and I have no information on this at all. So let's say they were honed in on Anthony Richardson to come in, learn behind Geno Smith. Well, they were picking 5. What did Indianapolis do? Well, they took Anthony Richardson.
Right.
Then you look at what Seattle did to Detroit, because I believe that Witherspoon fit the mold of a Dan Campbell football player with his toughness, his athleticism, his character. And Seattle said, well, if we don't take the corner here, then Detroit's going to take him. So they one-upped Detroit. But then Detroit made a trade back, and maybe that was the reason. I'm just speculating here. I have no knowledge of it. Maybe that's why Detroit ended up trading back.
Yeah, probably.
It would have been interesting.
No way you would know that.
Yeah, I don't know that for a fact. And like I said, I will never put myself or my brother in any situation where it would honestly question our integrity. I respect everything and he has to do, and I know he respects what I have to do. Role reversal, because when he was doing Fox Games and I was the GM, I said, Chris, I'm not going to give you that information. And he says, well, I understand. So what are you going to do? I'm not going to give you that information. I understand. But I knew, just when you look at the personality of these players and you look at the personality of the coaches and the way the team select players,
right?
Detroit's always going to go with high character, quality football players that are tough-minded and have a passion for the game. And to me, Witherspoon fit that.
And it's interesting that you say that. And your integrity is through the roof, and to the point of being annoying. But that there is no doubt about it. But I would say, if just anecdotally, based on what I was reading prior to the start of the first round of the draft, just looking at random mock drafts around the internets there, Devin Witherspoon was almost to a mock draft penciled into Detroit at number 6. So a lot of people felt the same way you did, even though your brother works in that organization. I'm sure you guys didn't talk about it. So let's talk about the other pick, Jackson Smith and Jigba at 20. So now they circle back. They could take a Miles Murphy here if they wanted to. Nolan Smith was still there. He didn't go until 30. Instead, they get Jackson Smith and Jigba, who is going to be lining up with DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, and it feels like a tip of the cap to Geno Smith saying, if you heard anything about the Anthony Richardson stuff, don't worry about it. We want to get you a wide receiver. Make sure you're happy.
Yeah, so here's a gift to you.
Right.
So don't listen to all the smoke out there. We never had any interest in Anthony Richardson whatsoever. And just to prove that, we'll get you another playmaking receiver.
Did you like this? Would you think maybe Zay Flowers, maybe Quentin Johnson? Was there a better fit, or were you okay with this?
No, I thought he was not my number 1 receiver when this whole started. And I was down on him because I'm old school and he wasn't able to play all year. But the way, and everybody talks about the way, how important the pre-draft process is. And when he didn't play because of the hamstring during the year, and everybody started questioning it a little bit, is he tough enough, blah, blah, blah. But the way he performed at the combine, the way he performed at the pro day we were at, the way he ran a 4.50, which we said, that's fast enough. Once I seen that, he is the most explosive route runner out of this whole draft, and he has excellent hands. And how many people did we talk to that from Ohio State that said they had Olave, they had Garrett Wilson, and Jackson Smith and then Jigba was the best of all of them?
Marvin Harrison, Jameson Williams. I mean, that's a pretty hefty crew. And the other thing is this: a lot of the wide receivers in this class outside of Quentin Johnson are small. Jackson Smith and Jigba was almost 6'1", almost 200 pounds, ran the 4.5, had the short area quickness that you talked about. And Tyler Lockett is smallish. He plays much bigger than that, but you get another big target for Geno Smith, and who plays primarily out of the slot and is able to patrol the middle of the field. So that feels like a win, even though if Seahawks fan or mock draft folks like myself think that edge rusher was a need, we still got 2 more days of the draft. So there's time to sort it out.